Good morning, everyone.
Everyone.
Good morning and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. Happy Tuesday. I am the badass Buddha, Lori Monaco, coming to you from a very chilly, really cold, man. It's like winter all over again. Cold and rainy southern Connecticut. And it's very gray and you just want to stay all cuddled up in your bed and just have food delivered, that kind of day. And so, good morning. I am what am I? I am a chiropractic physician. I'm also a teacher, speaker, coach. I'm a mindfulness teacher. I'm a coach specializing in narcissistic relationships, toxic relationships, narcissistic abuse syndrome, depression, CPTSD. So I work with a lot of women that are dealing or have dealt with that type of scenario. And I'm an author. And yeah, I think that's so good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Hola, mi gente, aquí con la Margarita. I need to take a sip of my coffee, please. My first sip. It's going to hit like the back of the ling in the back of my throat. Hold on. You don't listen to Cardi B, do you, Dora?
No, I don't think so. I might have heard something of hers.
Hola, mi gente. Good morning. This is La Margarita. Buenos días. Who am I? I'm your sacred healer, your spiritual coach. I am your traveling magician. I am your artist, your writer, your author. I am your poet. I am your panuelo de lágrimas, right? I can't even translate that. I'm tired. I am Margarita de Margarita, which means I belong to me. I'm still discovering that path. I am a wanderer of life. I am. That's it. That's all I can say. Buenos días. Buenos días. Buenos días, Milagro. Kathy Ruiz. And we go in order. Iritza, Erica, Tiffany, Brian. Good morning, beautiful. I've been thinking of you often. We've talked about you. Buenos días and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche with the badass Buddha, the gladiator guru, and Viva Cafe con Leche. Let's start off with what's in your cup. It's Tuesday. ¿Qué es lo que están bebiendo? Even if it's tea, Milagros, you can mention it. What's in your taza de café? We'll start with the badass Buddha. What's in your taza?
It is Cricket's Whisper, naturally orgasmic coffee. That's what's in mine.
Where's mine? And mine, it is my naturally is my new logo, my naturally orgasmic cafe. This is my double espresso house blend, so it's my dark roast. And for those that are watching that are in Tampa, this Friday, 7 p.m. soft launch, my house. But I'm sending the invite out. But yes, this is it.
I think you should post it anyway on Viva on the pages, you know.
Yeah, after the launch. I want to do the logo thing all over the place.
Milagros, you and I have to talk, honey. No.
Coca-Cola this morning, Ave Maria. But yes, so this week, if you come over, you buy a $20 bag of coffee because that's just how we roll off rip. So I'm gonna have Colombian Supremo, dark and medium, as well as my double espresso. And then maybe an Ethiopian. I'm not sure. But right now we're going to start with 2. So, yeah, if you're in the area, give me a call. My house.
That's going to be phenomenal. God, you know how good that's going to smell?
Huh?
Oh. You know how good that's going to... People are going to be like driving by going, what the hell? What is that?
Yeah, we're going to have coffee cupping. So you get to taste all of them in their rawness. No sugar, no milk. Just a black little espresso shot. And then we're going to have mimosas, because I like mimosas at 7 o'clock at night. And sangria, if you don't want a taza de café con leche. So come on down.
That's fantastic.
That's my exciting news for the week, if I can ever get some sleep more than 3.5 to 4 hours.
Yeah, so what do you think is up with that? What do you think is the...
I'm doing a spiritual cleanse. And so spiritually meaning everything. That means you sit with self. That means you you sit in prayer, and then you just, I don't know. And I just think with the cleansing that is doing, I'm not sleepy, which is good because I don't feel like super exhausted. I'm only tired like 30 minutes after I wake up. But after that, you know, that's the best term to describe how I function with this lack of sleep is I am holy water with the splash of hell. I am holy water with the splash of hellfire. How's that? That's
Do you
it.
think that did you ask for the spiritual awakening, or
I,
or
I have
cleansing, or did it just come? You felt it come along?
no. I've been. When you're feeling like this, and you know that you're still trudging towards. It's like you're caught in this windstorm, but there's no wind. It's just that feeling of
Oh,
this,
what I
right?
do?
You made me small.
There we go. Goodness.
So when you're in that, and then there's just like this uncertainty. Good morning, Chanel. There's an our Janice. There's like this an uncertainty. You know what you want, and it's just like with our Janice, my son-in-law. I was really like, okay, I have this feeling. I don't know what is happening, but I had a great conversation with our Janice last Sunday, and we came up with ideas, and I already started putting them into action, honey. And what happened is that it's not that you get confused. Sometimes you're just Sunday driving down a road on a Friday where you're not supposed to be just driving like a Sunday driver, so you miss a lot, right? Um, so then you do the spiritual where it just calms you, it centers you. But in that asking, you ask for revealment of certain things. And when you ask for certain things of revealment, you got to be mentally prepared, and you have to be standing on solid footing because the wind will whirl, the noise will boom, but the visions you see are very clear. And I'm not prophesizing, I'm just saying, asking you shall receive. And you do it in a way that when you ask, you are fully present in that moment so that things can be revealed like a domino effect.
Look who just popped on.
Yay, Michelle!
Michelle Houston, how are you? How is Jeffrey? We've missed you. We've been telling everybody to send love, and so hope you are well. We're happy here. My cousin came on too. Hi, Anna.
Hi, Anna.
Wonderful.
Mommy's name. So yeah, that's what you do, and it's healing is not. Before we get into affirmation and mantra, I just want to say, when you go through this and you say things, but then when you let's say you you've done something, so you know it. Me, when I do something, I know it, then I can speak freely on it, and I don't care who likes it or not because it is my true experience. It's not something I read or heard or thought about. It's something I lived through. So healing is a tricky little fucker. When you decide to heal, you got to understand that you got to pull the scabs off all the wounds that you either carelessly nurtured or like just only focused on it. They all got to come off just so that it can pass through, not settle the way we've settled on it for years or for however long that it caused such a deep rooted wound. You peel the bitch off and you go through and you let it flow right out of you. That's when you know it's gone. And then that's where the healing begins. So when you start something, you got to start it not half assed. You got to do it, and you're not going to see things you like. You're really going to wish you didn't hear certain things that you listened to during the spiritual awakening. But the end result is you eliminate people out your life that no longer should hold space within you. You eliminate certain habits that you've been holding on that has been attracting the vagabonds. So all of that is a learned experience, and it's a spiritual experience. So a lot of people don't go through it because you get what you ask for. So that's why. And I know with the sleeping and the visualizing and the hearing, it's kind of it's a tricky healing process, but it's a process that needs to be done. Needs to be done at my age. I just survived a catastrophic car accident, and I'm still like, let's do this. Why? Because material loss is not a loss. So that was what I was saying. If you're gonna heal, heal your way and your timing.
All right. Michelle said he's doing well, much better. And to vote for him, the shelter dog category of the Hero Dog Award. So everybody that's there, she put the
And
she
let me
she
write
has
it.
put the link in the comments. Click on the link and vote for Jeffrey. Jeffrey. Um, you said something very poignant in what you were talking about with the spiritual cleansing, and I don't remember it verbatim, but it was along the lines of that you have to be like ready for it. Like you a lot of people might not even realize they're going through a spiritual cleansing sometimes. And when you're asking questions and you want answers and you're hearing what you don't want to hear, that's when people take the step back. Because a lot of times we ask for things like God, source, whatever, and then we're asking and we're given the information, but it's not what we want. Like it's not or exactly how we want it. And then we like push it away because we're like, no, and maybe we do it consciously or subconsciously. But I think that's a big thing is with the spiritual cleansing is the fact that you do sometimes you have to open up a can of worms to get to the really good thing at the bottom of the can. And I think that's the part that really, really sets people, they won't do it because it's they have to go through that little bit of muck, and sometimes they think the muck is huge, like it's a huge can of worms, and they've got to dive down to the bottom when it looks like a huge can, but all of a sudden you go down, it's really shallow, and you just move a few worms out of the way, and there's the thing. And so I commend you because it's not an easy place to go sometimes, and yet we all need to, but most of us choose not to go, into that direction. So
And I think that, that's why I was so excited when you were telling me yesterday that you're doing this liquid. You can speak on it if just because I don't know the right name. Remember, I got really excited for you because I had already been on my journey. And the thing is that it will like lessen the load on your soul. It'll make your spirit be a bit more carefree, which will then unfuck your thoughts. And so you're taking care of that part. But when you deal spiritually with self, and you include whoever you want, I always invite my God into my life. When you include them in, there's clarity. So although you're hearing things you don't want to hear, shame on you, because life isn't about what you want to hear. Life is about what you need to hear.
that's right. Yeah.
And with the spiritual cleanse and the gut cleansing, it's like in order to have your expensive makeup look beautiful on your face, you gotta tend to your skin. People think makeup is skincare. No, skincare is skincare, and makeup just accents it. But you meet a lot of people with horrible skin, and they apply all this makeup on it, making them look worse. Hi, Janet. So what I'm saying is take care of the fundamentals of your life, because you're not going to hear everything you want. You're not going to like everything you listen to, smell, or taste, but it's something all that medicine you've had in your life, the pills you probably still pop for certain things in your life, they always leave a tart taste on your tongue, but you take them, right? That's how you got to handle your spiritualness. That's how you got to take care of that soul. If you believe in God and God is in you, then nurture that and make sure that when he comes to settle within your home, that it is clean, clean of all clean and free of all that negative vibing, all that baggage that you've been carrying of what somebody did to you 20 years ago. It's time to, if you're going to align your mindset, then feed your spirit. And then that's how you can walk anywhere as if you're walking on water. But only you can go there. Okay. I'm done for the morning with that. But I just think it's very important for people to heal. And in this time of uncertainty, we need to know who the hell we are so we can know what we're going up against.
Sounds good. So one thing before we do our mantra and set the intention, this Sunday is the Her Badass Story book signing up in Bristol. And if you want to go, you can just go on. I mean, we've been posting it, and you can see it on the Facebook page, and it has the information, and you can pay at the door. It's not a big deal, but we kind of do want a head count. So if you just give us an idea that if you think you're going to be able to go, I believe it's 2:00, 2 to 4 in Bristol. It'll be a really nice place. And if you can get there, great, but just give us an idea. If you can pay ahead, that would be even better, just so that we know that, how many to plan for, because we have to have refreshments and so on and so forth. So, and if we don't really get the head count that we're looking for, then we might actually have to postpone it again. So, so Chenille's writing 2 to 4, come on down. And again, you're going to see it posted all week for you to come on, and the information and the location and stuff. And it'll be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, Gladiator Guru won't be able to be there because of the airplane rates are just ridiculous.
And I ain't balling like that. I told you, I got money, a penny in each pocket. They're charging the lowest fee for one-way trip for the 24th or the 23rd, which would be, it was between two and change up to 6 and change. So no, I won't, and it breaks my heart because I love to pop up like slut magic everywhere I'm at, and that can't happen this time. So
we might, Henny. I don't know. I don't know how we'd have to set that up and make it work and stuff. I'm not sure, but maybe we'll try to have a conversation this week. So, and look at Kathy. When's the Zoom author meetup?
No, wait, Kathy's going to be an author with us?
No, I don't know what she's doing. Are you just talking about meeting the authors, like the authors on the first book? Is that what you mean, Kathy?
Or are you going to become an author in the second book, Kathy? Because that would be
Yes.
nice as well.
Yeah. Because the second book we start actually this week, and the second we start this week, and we're releasing. And she says yes. Which one?
Yeah, which one? Because I'm excited. Desiree, I have, and I finally found a Spirit ticket, but on the 28th, which was like yay and for 2 reasons. Wanted to be there for the 24th for the author badass book tour, and on the 27th for my son's birthday. So I found one the day after at 100, and it went down again. I think it's 121. So I'm interested in contributing to the second one. Look,
I see. All right.
Look, I get more excited. Maron.
I've got such a headache, though. I've had such a headache, so I apologize.
But again,
all right. So, I'll be in touch with you, Michelle. I'll reach out to you.
Yes. But again, I wanted to be there for those days, and this is what opened up. So I always go with, all right, then that's when I'm supposed to go. I believe in everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. If I go off on your ass, it was supposed to happen because somewhere the universe knew you were going to say something stupid. So I don't have no apologies.
What? What are you talking about?
I was, because Michelle said that she goes according to God's plan, and then I said exactly. So although I wanted it to be there for those 2 dates, the day after the last date opened up where it's affordable, then the prices go up after that. So I believe I'm supposed to be there when God's plan says I'm supposed to be there. Just like if I go off on somebody, it's because it's already been written that somebody was going to say something stupid. So there's no apologies. You get it?
Yes, I get it. I get it. So,
you got another thing. Are you reading it?
I know. I saw Editha. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Talk to me today, Editha. All right. Let's do, because you know me. I'm going to have to split for a few minutes to take my kid out. She's finally back at school. So let's set our intention, and we'll do our mantra. We'll start our conversation on what triggers you. So our intention for today, as always, is to be intentional and
grateful. Palms up, open. Always grateful.
And it really does make a difference. I started doing the 75 hard, which one of the components of it for 75 days straight, you have to write 10 things, at least 10 things that you're grateful for. And before I would just kind of sit and just think about what I was grateful for. And it is different when you write it and you really, you think about it, and you don't want to write the same thing necessarily every day. I mean, you can, because if you're grateful for that every day, but it's been nice. It's been really a nice shift, like to really actually see it on paper. So that's been really fun. And so yes, be grateful. because, and know that you can always reset your intention for the day. Whatever intention you set for the day, you can reset if it's not quite going the way you expected, or it something else opened up and you're like, well, that was not what I intended, but this is fantastic. So go with it and reset your intentions. It's perfectly fine for you to do that. All
It
right.
is set, but I think just going on what you're saying, you can do either. I think that sometimes I think I know what I want, so I'll ask for it, and then a couple days later, it's like when you're in high school, something better comes along. So I always sit with something I'm asking for until I fully understand it and think, why is it that I need it? Only because for the most part of my adult life, I've always been impulsive and spontaneous. The last 5 years, I haven't, and I've been more fulfilled in the last 5 years. I'm still spontaneous, but I'm not as impulsive. So I sit with self. Why do I want this? Why? And then you start. And then it just because today I said, oh, I don't really need that anymore, doesn't mean that the very next day I'm going to execute it. No, the same way it took its time to sew itself in the tapestry of my soul, it's going to take time to unstitch it. So be patient with yourself in whatever it is that you set out to do. Now, our mantra.
Okay, you ready? Here we go. We missed it on Thursday. We missed our intention and mantra. My goodness. So we apologize for that. Here we go. You ready?
Let's do this.
I am a disruptor.
I am a disruptor.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am magically orgasmic.
Ole.
And I am beyond authentic.
And I keep it as real as I can be.
Well, all right. So here we go. Today's conversation is what triggers you. And this is a really good conversation because, sometimes too, in those moments of spiritual cleansing, right? Sometimes the reason we do those cleanses has to do with whether it's spiritual or anything, any type of cleanse that you want to do for yourself. You feel that there's a need, and maybe sometimes it's because you're noticing things that are triggering you and you want to work through them. And so we're going to talk about what triggers you, and we want you to add to this conversation. So that's the question first. We want you to think about what is it that triggers you, and how do we want to define what triggers us? Gladiator Guru, what do you think?
How do we want to define it? Please explain.
Well, how do we want to define trigger?
Well, how do you define it? What? Totally left. Totally left. I'm looking at the stars and I was going to submit stars and I drew a blank. I had to put it down. Look, I couldn't even log in.
Okay, no worries. No worries. All right. So when we think of triggers, we tend to think of something that bothers us, like what triggers us, puts us in a bad mood, shifts us, like we're okay one moment and then we're not okay another moment. And so we think of that in such a way. And then because of that, we think of triggers as a negative element, like it just puts us in a bad way. And then that's it. The rest of the day, I'm there. But we want to present a couple of considerations for you. While yes, there are those triggers and we have to be aware of those and we have to recognize them and we have to sort of work our way through them, because we can't let something trigger us and then just ruin our whole day. And believe me, I know, because I have to check myself all the time. I have my triggers. But what about the triggers that get us to actually move as opposed to sit still? Like we're talking about triggers that sit us still and just put us in a crap mood and just make us do nothing and give ourselves the permission to do that. And then what about the triggers that actually make you move forward, that just piss you off so much that you're like, fuck this, and it gets you moving? So let's talk about that. All right. So we've got some good stuff here. Dishes in the sink, dirty bathroom. Yep. Clutter triggers me. Like if I just cleaned something and then all of a sudden it's just like, well, I'm messy again. That really drives me crazy.
Yeah, so tribe, we asked what triggers you. And before we get deeper into it, thank you, Chanel, for writing it. Kimberly Sanchez, we've missed you, mama. Write down what triggers you real quick. Everybody has a one right off the top of the head. Wait, when my
Sorry,
husband
you
and I were,
clicked it and then I clicked it.
we started calling each other out as soon as they came up, and then started laughing about them. Yeah, so we're just curious as to like Chanel did. Boom, boom. Badass Buddha mentioned what triggers her. What triggers me while I'm talking? Try to write them down. What triggers me? I'll tell you what triggers me. When somebody knows how my name is to be said and they still call me out my name by saying it wrong. That's where I either become Medusa or the three-headed goddess that will slam you across the room. Because now that's crossing the line. It's triggering me because you're disrespecting me. So triggers can just be anything. I've met many people and their triggers, because there's people who are control freaks and then they despise when you call them that, but they're upset because you didn't do something the way they wanted it done, and that makes you a control freak, because if you wasn't, you wouldn't get so upset. And people who are so anal about time is relevant. Why does everybody want to repeat and Einstein, but when it comes to time, they are anal on, well, the clock says this and you're a minute late. Well, if you know me, you're gonna always be upset. Milagros couldn't have said it any better. What triggers me? Stupid people. Ay, mamacita, gracias. Eso está perfecto. And you can have 3 master's degrees and still be a stupid person by your own. What is the thing? What's that when a person themselves self-proclaims? So, but that's good. See, hello, Toji. Telling me that I'm lying. So, you see how we say what triggers you, and what did everybody do, badass?
They put the stuff.
Gaslighting. Someone trying to control me. So I mean, everybody, we can be here for hours talking about triggers. Oh, the badass stepped out for a minute, but she's listening, so you can ask her anything. And I think that this is where the spiritual cleansing comes in. You don't need to burn sage, light a candle, do a palo santo. You don't need to do none of that. You just need to sit with yourself and come together with your 5 senses. So make sure you're listening. Make sure you're seeing beyond what's in front of you. Make sure you're smelling. Like that crispy morning when the snow first falls. There's a stillness in the ear, but you can still listen. You can see the snow falling, but it feels like it's like surreal. And when you smell, it smells so clean. And then you just want to reach out, knowing it the instant it gets in your hand, it's going to melt, but you still have to touch it. And you have to feel the coldness on you. That's you. In one instant, one little first snowfall of the season, that's you coming together with your 5 senses. We need to do that more often in our moments. I don't care if you're sitting in the middle of the mall or you're sitting quietly in your home. You can do this anywhere. And sit with self. And then question yourself, why do these trigger me? Because it's not my problem you're being triggered, because I'm just doing what I do. You're getting triggered by what I do. So the question goes back to you. Why do I get so upset when my name is misspelled? Because anywhere in my life, before I enter somewhere, my name's already there. If you can't respect my name, what's going to happen when I show up in the flesh? If I don't know you and we never met, then you're going to say it the way it's spelled. And I give you that, and I respect that. Now I'm going to come in and say, they're going to say Margarita, and I'm going to say Margarita. Oh, Margarita Chapman, Margarita. The 3rd time, they're going to look at me and say it wrong, and I'm going to say, I try to correct you twice. My name is Margarita. It is not Margarita. Now, if I run into that person again and they constantly continue to call me Margarita, now we're going to have an issue because I've already corrected you. So the trigger's not mine anymore. Now it's not even about being triggered. Now it's about, this is how it is. Either you call me Margie or you call me Miss Chapman, but you're not calling me my name. Now you don't have that honor to say, oh, I know Margarita. Anyway, so you got to realize what triggers you. For the first 14, 15 years of my life, because of the way my name was said in English and I never understood it, I hated my name, despised it. It felt like nails on a chalkboard. Then when I discovered that I was named after my maternal grandmother who raised me, you believe that? She was always Huela. You know, our abuelitas are always Huela. We don't really know their name. We would never dare call them their name. So I discovered that so many years later. And I embraced it with such a love. We had such a love affair, my name and I, because of what it meant to me, where it traveled down from. And so, okay, Michelle, have a great day. So, what happens is when you become one with what you are, and then you can decide, okay, why does this trigger me? Oh my God, I've been wasting my energy on this shit for so long. You start purging, you start becoming lighter. So the triggers can be annoying, but they're really not about me. That's your trigger. Figure out why you're being so triggered. I told you when I met you, hi, I'm Margarita. Yes, I'm this. And I don't own a watch. If I know it's between 2 or 3, I'm going to show up between 2 or 3, but I'm not going to show up at 2 and I'm not going to show up at 3, no matter how hard I try. It's just not in my nature. And I try. Lori be getting worried sometimes. There'll be 7:57 and I'll be just logging in, talking about, let me run and get my coffee. And I try. That's just who I am. So people have to understand that this is who you're dealing with. So if you're so triggered by time, then we might not be able to remain friends. And I'm going to be okay with that because I'm not going to lower the bar on myself, nor am I going to expect you to do the same. That's called growth, maturity, and understanding self so that you could better understand the other person. Because the other person has to deal with whatever. Triggers are also masking something deeper that we don't want to deal with. Like I mentioned in the beginning, when you're pulling off scabs off the wound, when you begin your healing, you got to pull the scabs off that wound so that when you open it up briefly, just to analyze and discard, it'll heal much better. It'll heal much nicer. It'll heal with leaving less of a scar. But that's totally up to you. The triggers in your life, some have to do with old shit. Some have to do with new shit you picked up because of the attitude and the mood that the old shit has been causing in your life. So you must figure out who you are and then end it. And I can understand what Chanel said. I'm trying not to go with the dishes in the sink. I hate dishes in the sink. I'm that friend that if I go to your house and you got dishes in your sink, I'm going to wash them for you. Because I don't like that. But it doesn't mean that I get, and Iris knows I was always washing dishes in Iris's house. I'll go to your house and I wash dishes. Why? It relaxes me to listen to the water. A lot of people don't like me to wash dishes in their house because I love running water. It does something when I hear it. It's one of my senses that calms me, that relaxes me, which then clears all this up here. And while I'm washing dishes, I'm coming up with some brilliant ideas. So turn that trigger into something that is going to feed your spirit and awaken a certain part of you that's been calling your attention. And maybe you're having that trigger because you have to delve a little bit into it to dispel it so that birth that's been waiting for you is saying, I'm finally here. Hello. So for every problem, there's a solution. Try to figure yours out because I can't figure it out for you. But so those are things we have to figure out. When people tell me I'm like, you lying. I understand what Iris is saying because, I know I'm not lying. But again, your trust issues have nothing to do with what I'm saying. If you can't believe or comprehend what I'm saying, don't call me a liar. Why are you despising it so much? Again, just play with yourself with the questioning. Write them down. Try to answer it. Discover who you are behind that trigger that annoys you so much. Because it is something that needs your attention, obviously, right? A rude, disrespectful kid, won't tolerate it. If you come to my house with your kid and I see your kid doing something, I'm going to look at you because that's your job. Nothing. Your kid does something, I'm going to look at you again because that's your job. And you're going to pretend your kid ain't jumping with his shoes on my couch. All right, the third time, I'm going to take him off the couch. I'm going to tap that ass and I'm going to say, sit down now. Because sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And then if you don't like it, then please don't bring your kid over my house again. Because that is the worst thing, is to have a rude, disrespectful kid that you're enabling and expecting everybody else to put up with because you don't want to handle it. I'm with you on that. This one was just classic. Wasn't that classic? You know what? This lady is just, and someone trying to, yeah, people will try. But see, the operative word that you mentioned, Iris, is try. People will try. And you know what? You got to laugh, especially when people are trying something. You got to be like, that's right. Keep trying, but just not with me. Because when people are trying, they're active, right? So there's a positive in that word. You might not like what they're trying, but you have every right to say, not with me. Take that shit somewhere else. Effort is lays behind trying. I was trying to read on these. I'm sorry. Yeah, they shut down no community. Yeah, I'm just so upset. I don't want to talk about it. First of all, I'm a storyteller, so half-ass stories don't jive with me. And don't be talking to me in riddles because I don't got time for that shit. Speak up front and just tell me what it is you're feeling. What did I upset you in? And then we'll try to figure it out. Kimmy. Oh, Kimmy. I don't like.
Read it out loud, Gladiator Guru. Don't just
trigger when you call me my family nickname Kimmy. OMG. Yeah, you're Matame to me anyway. That was our name for you. People accusing me of doing drugs or alcohol because I am psychologically feeling unstable. That happened one day at my job. My boss yelled it out to me, asking if I was on drugs. She didn't even pull me aside. Just accusing me in front of my coworkers. I was unwell and having trouble concentrating on my job. What did you do? Please tell, because I'm very, very curious.
Wow, that's just ridiculous. That's awful.
Mm-hmm. And Michelle had to sign off, but I told her thank you for coming on. Yep, so do I. Whatever it is.
I like what Wanda said. She signed in, and she did it on her TV. She said, we look good on the big screen."
I like that.
Thanks, Wanda.
Oh, Gigi, that's fine. I don't have a problem. You can. I don't care. I just don't like Margarita said wrong. And that's why we related. That's right, because I'll tap that ass quick. Because I gave you one try. I looked at you. Your kids, hello, your kids on my furniture with shoes. Nothing. Did it again. I looked at you the second time. You're going to act like you don't see what he's doing in my house, and look at what the consequences are. And I don't have a problem. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to come over. You bringing your kids? I don't have a kid-friendly house. But yeah, those are triggers. And yours, badass? Frankie, what's yours, badass?
My triggers are certain people trigger me, situations trigger me. And the hardest part for triggers with me is it a trigger that's going to make me do things, like do something about it, or is it a trigger that's going to sideline me? What really what triggers me even more, the triggers that sideline me, the ones that I just get so upset about and I just don't do anything, and it completely controls. I let the trigger control me, and I let the trigger control my mood and what I'm doing for that moment in time, and maybe even the whole day, as opposed to the trigger getting me to actually move. So like I can't stand clutter. Like it drives me crazy, but I can tolerate it to a certain point, but then it gets to a certain point, it triggers me and it can actually put me into a really crappy mood. But at the same time, it gets me to move and it gets me to start cleaning everything and getting stuff out of the way. And so I've learned over the years that if the trigger gets me pissed off enough, it will send me into a direction. And in that case, then I become kind of grateful for the experience and the trigger. And at some point, my goal is to just not get triggered. It's like that's the goal, is to just not let these individuals or situations trigger me, because like you had said before while I was outside, that triggers are there because something's within you. It's something inside of you, you know, and it doesn't mean that it's necessarily a bad thing. Like if something triggers you, like okay, you are specific about your name, and just because it triggers you when somebody says that doesn't mean that you're wrong to say, like, you have every right to say that. So, and the other person, all they have to do is just try. Like they just have to try the name and then work out something else with you to call you, but we don't apologize for your trigger. Just figure out what it is. That's my thought, is that, don't feel bad about getting triggered, or if the person, if the person is a certain way and you get triggered and you're saying, well, but this is my way of doing things and it's triggering me because you don't do it that way. You have to honor both sides, and then you have to figure out a way to work it. Sometimes that's the biggest challenge.
You have to honor both sides, but you know what? A person who's constantly expecting someone else to do things their way is always the first one to say that. And I understand that. But in my lifetime of living off my clock and other people, I hate when people are late. It's like so disrespectful for me. And you know me. Okay, if I'm triggered by something, if somebody doesn't know me or my name is what I said in the beginning, and they say my name wrong, that doesn't trigger me. What triggers me are the people who know me and purposely get my name wrong, thinking either it's funny or they frankly don't give a shit. Why does that trigger me? Because I despised my name for so long. And when I realized that it was my abuelita's, that I was very harsh on myself. But then I realized I didn't know, but it still lingers, the thought that I really, really hate, and I hated my mom for giving me. I had a sister named Connie and a sister named Janet, and I'm Margarita Marie Rodriguez. And I was like, it took me forever to learn how to write my freaking name in school. And because I didn't know where it came from, I didn't know how it should have been said. But I know that the sound of it since elementary irritated me. Now, I can be triggered by people always complaining and thinking they have a right to tell me, oh, yeah, I shouldn't invite you no more. You're always late. I should be triggered by that, but bitch, you know me. And the thing is, I show up. So it does take both sides to say, you know what, she's going to trigger me. Should I invite her? If you know you're going to be triggered because you're overwhelmed that day, don't invite me. I'm not going to get offended. But the same way I'm not going to change you, you sure as hell are not going to change me. So you have to come. Again, that is why the trigger lies within the person. Because you have to realize, is this worth dying for? Is me getting all worked up over this going to kill me or rob me of this one day? If the answer is no, then figure and learn how to brush it the hell away. Because there's always an excuse for a reason. I can give you a million excuses why I am the way I am, but you know what? I'm not, because I am who I am. I like who I am. It would be nice if you like who I am, but if you're not, you're still not taken away from me, because I am complete. With all my madness, I am complete. And if you can accept that, then you will realize that the triggers start to fall off. You're still going to get annoyed because certain things you just don't deal with. So guess what you learn? Who to deal with. And you learn who and who not to deal with. And that is what I'm doing on my spiritual cleansing right now. Who and who not to have in my life going forward. Because I have plans for you, said the Lord. And I can't do that with everything here. Like I said in prior shows, the VIP section is closed at this moment. Your ticket is up in the nosebleed section until the VIP section gets renovated. And I'm okay with that. Because why? Because I'm okay standing alone.
But they might not even be invited back to the VIP section.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anytime anything gets remodeled, changes come into play. So what I'm saying,
I love that.
honor who you are. Love who you are. Understand who the hell you are, because I'm not going to worry about it. You're triggered by me missing the dessert time. I missed out on that piece of cake, not you. Why are you triggered that I didn't make it on time? Could you not enjoy yourself unless my spirit was here entertaining you? Ask yourself those questions. Because I sure as hell, I'm late. Oh my God, I missed the dessert. I'm going to walk around until I find something. Because that's who I am. Why are you so upset that I'm late? You were here on time. You didn't miss shit. Why are you upset? I wasn't going to hold your hand through the process. So that's when you got to ask yourself, why does this trigger me so much? Why am I robbing myself of my present moment, being upset over this, and that? Because that's all you're doing is you're robbing yourself. Don't accuse me. I was late. I don't know what the hell you were doing. Vale?
The bottom line is this, that, you know, when something is triggering you, really, it's you have to take that moment and you have to really look within and say, what's really, you know, what's really going on? Like what, and you're right. You know, it is, that's actually a really good way to look at it, that especially if it's a person or a situation that triggers you often, then you really have to really look at the bigger picture and consider, do I need to be around the situation or this person much longer then? Like if I can't let these things go and they trigger me all the time, then what would it take for me to separate from that person or that situation? It's not always easy. I mean, it's not. You have to really look at the whole situation, the person, everything. So it isn't. I mean, we're not going to sugarcoat it and say it's really simple. It's just easy to just walk away. Some of it is. Sometimes we make it more than it needs to be. And then when we actually analyze it, we can see that we can actually move away from that.
Like, oh my God, I spent all that time and I feel so stupid right now. I wasn't even, how many people do you know will not remove the Band-Aid until they take a shower and it falls off on their own because they're afraid to rip it off because they're afraid of the pain? Those are people who never follow through on their healing. Think of the Band-Aid effect. Do you just rip it up? When people talk, I don't know how to say this, rip it off like a Band-Aid. Either way, I'm going to get offended, hurt, whatever it is, just rip it off. I like people to talk to me as though they're ripping off that Band-Aid. Because me, I'll rip it off. Me, I get a cut, I pour straight alcohol into it. You know what? And that's just, you know what? Maybe it's a syndrome from molestation and rape. It can be anything, but it's who I am today. So it's like, how many people do you know, badass, that will leave the Band-Aid on until the shower softens it up and it comes off with no reaction to it? How many people have tattoos and when they go draw blood, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Because they know that at this point that needle's going to go in and blood's going to come out. Those are the people who have more triggers than not, and because they don't look within. But we also have another part to it. And I'll let the badass Buddha talk about other triggers because we were going to leave that to the end. So, but I wanted just to read this. People ask me for something and getting pissed if I ask questions about what they are asking me to do. Mom, can you babysit Friday? Me, day or night? What times? You know what? Yeah, because they expect you to be just willing. I don't babysit. There you go, Lori. This is the hard part, separation from it, a work in progress. I wish I knew what Chanel was talking to. Do you know what she's talking to you about?
Sorry, my dog was barking. She was talking about what I was just saying. It went with what I was saying when I was talking about how you have to separate yourself. And sometimes it's not easy to do that. And sometimes we think it's hard, but it isn't as hard, but sometimes it's not that easy. That's what she was talking about.
I say, if you want people to respect and value you, where are you in that position? Where are you holding yourself accountable to respecting and valuing yourself? Sometimes we have such strong expectations of outsiders because we don't do the work ourselves. Start doing the work. Do the work. It's never easy. Honor and respect yourself, because when you do that, then everyone else, they're not going to hesitate. They're not even going to try and fool you, because you are walking in your truth and you are glowing in your honor, your self-honor.
Well,
When you do that, uh-huh.
and I think that's what it is. I think that a lot of times we just really need to check in with ourselves, you know. I mean, you could be checking in and be fine. You know, you just check in for a moment and say, no, no, I have every right to feel that way because that's who I am and I honor myself for that person. So when we say check in, it doesn't necessarily mean you're checking in to see what you need to work on and that you're wrong. It's just a check in. But when you are like needing to say, well, why is this bothering me so much? Does it really need to bother me this much?
This
That's
much, right? Is that the operative word? This much? Because
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, because triggers are triggers. I mean, they're going to be there. We can't tell somebody, you know, to not let yourself get triggered. It is what it is. Like, and we don't even know sometimes what triggers us until it triggers us. Like, sometimes once we know, but then all of a sudden you could be somewhere and you get into like such a way and you're like, what the fuck just was that? Like, what was that?
Because
And
we
it's
are.
like, something triggered you and it's so unexpected. And that's when you have to become very present and aware, very mindful and say, okay, what was that? Why did that happen? You know, maybe it could be that you got triggered, but it wasn't the actual thing that triggered you so much that it was just like maybe you were in a crappy mood, maybe you were tired, maybe you were hungry. And so that's why it's important for you to check in to say, okay, why did that trigger me? Why did I get so upset? Was it because I'm just not really in a great mood today? And then I saw that because maybe that same thing isn't something that triggers you later either.
Absolutely.
And so that's why it's always really good to just be so mindful because that is what we are, is we are a work in progress. And was it Milagros that said, you know, stupid people trigger me? Well, I don't want to be the stupid person, but sometimes I am because sometimes I'm just not thinking or I just do something or whatever. But I want to make sure that I'm not being stupid. I'm just being that if I triggered somebody else, I didn't trigger them because of my stupidity. I triggered them because of something that they're not liking, of that they don't tolerate, not something that I did to be bothersome to them. You understand? You get what I'm saying? So that's another way to also look at this too. That's why we also have to like always be mindful. You know, like if I said Margarita's name incorrectly and she told me that it's pronounced this way, if I'm not being mindful and listening to and hearing her and respecting that, and then I go and say it again the wrong way, and then she corrects me one more time, and then I still say it the wrong way, I'm being stupid, like I'm being a stupid person. But if I say that, you know what, I really can't say it, like it's really hard for me to say it, no worries, you know. But it's just taking those moments of being mindful and being present.
And
That's perfect, Tiffany. The work starts with me. Yes, very good.
and you know what? I've and you know why this matters to me? Because those who know me know that I was that person and I was always ready. I carried bats in my car because I was that person. And until I started doing the work, and it's messy. The work is messy because you discover shit about yourself that you're like, oh my God, what? Oh my God, embarrassing. You get embarrassed. You get frustrated.
Yep.
You felt like you were just this ignorant, you know, profanity sailor. You go through all these motions until it's like peeling back that onion until you discover the beautiful self that you are, and you're not gonna like everything. And I'm happy the badass Buddha said that you're not gonna like everything. You're still gonna get upset. Like, I'm gonna correct you once, I'm gonna correct you twice, all right, and then I'll even make a joke. Oh well, I can't say it. We'll practice, because when you say Margarita, that's good tongue exercise, and we could all use a strong tongue. So I make it fun. I make innuendos, you know, because that's just who I am. But if the third and the fourth time, now I'm gonna let you know, now you're fucking aggravating me, because how many times I gotta check you? Just call me Marjorie, or don't even speak to me at all. Then the ugly comes out, because I was nice, and then I was nice and maybe a little bit funny, and then you kept on. So I think that just knowing that we are a work in progress until our last breath. Nobody is perfect. You're not going to reach the level of perfection. You're going to be human. Be human, knowing what type of human you are. That's all we're saying.
That's nice.
And if you can do that and live with you, because the flaws are always there, just stop focusing so much on the flaws of others and start ironing out chores. They'll never go away completely because I'm still who I am. I have to work hard at not being so rageful. But you know what? It's a good job. It's a good workout. Mentally and spiritually, I can be Miss USA and all that workout stuff, just not physically. But so what I'm saying is everybody has to handle it differently. I don't care how you handle it. I don't care where you're at your journey. Just tell me you started it. Because when you tell me, now you're holding yourself accountable. There's no going back. The bridge is starting to fall behind you. Now you got to keep going. And that's all. That's all. That's what we get up every Tuesday and Thursday morning to do for you ladies. And the triggers that we wanted to say is there are so many triggers that propel you forward. Focus on those. Somebody pisses you off. Why are they pissing you off? You know what? They think I can't do this. They don't even realize I was already planning it. It was on my to-do list from 3 months ago. Let me put that shit into action. Sometimes those triggers that are propelling you forward are just reminders of God or the universe saying, hey, I'm going to piss you off because that has a stronger effect on you. Oh, yeah. I wrote that down 3 months ago. Oh, I guess this is my purpose for right now. Sometimes people will do that. Sometimes they're messengers getting under your skin, or as I like to say, lighting those firecrackers up your ass to get you started on the journey you've been putting off.
Yeah.
Evaluate which trigger is which is going to benefit you so that you can be a benefit to others. That's the bottom line. Let's just learn to be human and that old cliche that is very true, which is it takes a village. Surround yourself with those villagers that are going to say, "Ay, badass Buddha, stop already. I thought you said you were working on that." What now? If she wasn't working on it, she's like, "Who do you think you are? I don't need nobody." She's like, "Oh my God, I am working at it. I got sidetracked it." Or you know what? I started this project, totally lost focus. Whatever the case may be. She could still be upset. You don't need to talk to me like that. You could have reminded me a different way. That's still respectful. I still got to honor her. So don't stop being who you are. Just be a better version of yourself.
Exactly.
That's it.
Well, that's our goal. I mean, if you're going to compete with anybody, compete with yourself every day to just be better. And yeah, the triggers are a really good example of just giving you feedback of the shit you still need to work on. Or again, not necessarily need to work on. You just need maybe clarity. I mean, because you don't need to work on the fact that people trigger you with your name pronunciation. That's different. But it's other stuff. That's why we have to check in. That's why we have to say.
Right. That's why when the badass Buddha and I talk about words that we don't like. I know I do. And we talk about words, and that's how we come up with these show topics, because we sit with each other. And I don't know about that. And then the other person, the other villager, say, well, what if we turn it around and say this? And that's how we come up with these titles, because we work together, because she might like a word that I don't, or I see another one, and vice versa. And then that's how we come up with this, because we need to find the right trigger words, whether it's to make you laugh, think, feel, or get pissed off, because sometimes getting pissed off is what propels you. So
yeah, it does for me.
Right? And one of my words that I don't like is authenticity, because I've met so many people using that word and they're fake as hell. And if there's anything that really sets me off to really want to be very confrontational, it's a fake person. Yeah. Maybe it's because I say what I say when I say it, that when I hear somebody being fake or thinking that they're showing me one way, but I know, because I'm a spiritual person, that they're doing it the other way. There's nothing else that makes me want to rip your throat out. But I'm a changed person now, so I handle it differently.
And the bats are out of the trunk.
Yeah.
You didn't even leave one bat in. They're not just one bat.
No. Because I have that police stick that you go and it sticks out all the way.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I took everything out my car before they towed it away. Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is, see, change is good. It went from 3 to 1. But what I'm saying is, you know what? Love yourself enough to sit and evaluate yourself. The badass Buddha came on here looking like she wasn't happy today, but then she explained that she had a headache with her red cup. I got my black cup. What I'm saying is, if you don't do the work for you, then how do you expect me to value you? If you don't clean up your mess, how are you supposed to see me, allow me to see you for who you really are with all that clutter in front of you? Because when you have so much shit inside of you that you haven't sorted through and properly put it in the bins that it belongs in, then you are not showing your true color. So I don't see you for who you are because you're too busy buried up in your shit, but you have an expectation for me to accept you for the way you are, but you don't know who the hell you are. So it's a revolving cycle
That is
of
deep.
uncomfortableness. And I don't have time to go through that. I've never had time to deal with that with people. Now, what I do is I'll see something, I'll let it slide. I'll ask questions when I already pretty much have the answer. And then I'll listen to you and then I'll let it slide. And then it comes a time where I just, you know what? Maybe we need to talk because maybe we're seeing each other, looking at each other with fog colored glasses. Fuck the rose colored glasses, with fog. And we need to clear the air because sometimes misunderstandings happen when we're blinded by our own shit. Right? And when you're going through a spiritual cleanse, there's no really set things you can do until it's over. So sometimes if you value that person, sit with them and say, you've been doing things lately that I don't like. But why don't I like it? And they're going to say, well, what have I been doing? And I'm going to say it out loud to the person and it's going to sound stupid. But maybe the person's going to say, I've been feeling like this, but I felt stupid saying it because I didn't think anybody would understand me. Hello, release the balloons. Here we are. Clarity.
That's nice though, because plus it's like a permission too. Sometimes people just don't feel that comfortable, right? So that was beautiful actually. I loved what you said about how could you have I'm gonna butcher the way you said it, but you said about how you can you're gonna tell me how to be, but you don't even know who you are because you're not even clear on who you are. So you're gonna say that something bothers you or whatever, but you're not even clear on who you are. I think that's really the vast majority of people in the world. Truly, is that
all
just
of us? It depends on what topic. Who Nostradamus felt depressed. You know what I mean? Like, we're human. So we're going to go through all these waves, tsunamis, cyclones, all of this stuff. What do they say? We only know 10% of what lays in the ocean, what lies in the ocean. We only see 10% of the iceberg. So, you know what? Get to know yourself a little better than that 10% because you're in there just waiting to blossom out like that garden. But none of us really know. You're absolutely right. We can be triggered over the slightest thing. What triggers me is even when I see strangers and kids are yelling at their parents and their parents like, but Thomas, we can't do that here. Like, you better tap that ass because I was raised like that. And that's how I raised my kids. So when I see parents saying, okay, stop, they're throwing a tantrum. No, that kid's going to walk all over you in the future. But again, that's my opinion. That's how I see things. But let me tell you, it pisses me off how parents aren't parenting and then expecting their kids to be rocket scientists. But again, that's my opinion. And that is one of my triggers. So who's perfect? Nobody. So that's why I say, if the badass Buddha, if there's anything that's going on, I ask her right out, Lori, what's up? You're acting kind of funny, or you seem bothered, you seem distracted by something. And she's like, oh no, I was tired. And then as we go talking, then we divulge things about one another. It's like that when I speak to my family members. Why? Because sometimes if you're that person, then you should be able to try and understand the other person. Because in that understanding, you're understanding what you are capable of, what you will and will not tolerate going forward. So everything you do towards other humans always comes back to you. So why not do it properly? Why not do it? And if you don't understand, say, we need to sit and talk because I'm lost, and let the other person start. It's all about trying to understand where I'm coming from so I can understand where you're coming from and vice versa.
right?
Lori's been so out of it today.
I know.
How many colors?
Like no energy, like zero.
There's several. There's black, there's red, there's lime green, there's a turquoise blue, there's a maroon, a burgundy color. Then we have the white
Right. How many does that come out to? That's what she was. I counted 4, but it sounds like there's more than 4.
on the Viva.
Yeah, that's what she was asking.
Oh
But then she said, "Oh, it's a set." She's like, it's for the different colors. So you said black. I thought 4. I thought black, red, maroon, green.
no, that's what I was just saying. I was just saying the colors. Lime green.
No, I'm asking how many. You were just rattling them, so I'm
Oh,
going.
I don't know. I have to rattle them. My inner eye doesn't see numbers; it sees items.
No,
So
I'm saying rattle the colors, like, and I'll count
I
them.
just did. I said the red, the black, the green. You got the maroon. You got a turquoise blue. You have an indigo blue.
Okay.
A yellow, and then the white on white or the magic cup, which is black until you pour something hot in it. And when you pour something hot in it, it comes out to be
So the white on white for that with the white inside. So it's 8 with that particular design, Kathy, and then the magic cup is the black one where you don't see, and then when you pour it in, you'll see the logo. So 9 altogether, but 8 with that specific design.
Yes, and Desiree, the Badass Buddha has, I don't know if she has any more left. So I'm in Connecticut. But yeah, we have more to do. I ordered some stuff on Etsy about 3 weeks ago. And yesterday I had to contact her because it's stuff for my coffee and the Badass Tour and Viva. And I still haven't gotten it. And so I'm thinking with the stress I'm causing myself waiting on a package to arrive, the money to pay for somebody to do it, and the shipping, and then getting here, and then that time, I'm saying all that money that I have in ordering this stuff, I might as well just buy my $280 sublimation printer and just start doing it again myself, because I don't like to wait. As late as I always am, I don't like to wait.
Interesting.
We all have work to do. The interesting part is when you can admit what your flaws are, then you're already better than who you were yesterday.
Hi, Arlene Kelly.
Hi. So yeah, so this we still the lip balms. I don't have mine with me.
I have a few. I have to take inventory to see what's left, but some of that will be used this weekend for baskets.
Okay, ladies, thank you for hanging in there. I think today was phenomenal. Badass Buddha wasn't feeling good, so if everybody can say thank you to her for showing up and interacting. My insomnia, I always like, ooh, I slept with my eye things on last and my face mask. I went to bed around 3 something in the morning. I woke up and I still had it on my face.
What's the link to order, Desiree? I guess you just order, you just have to reach out to us. You just have to DM us, and then it's usually Venmo or Cash App or something like that. It would be Gladiator Guru, really, because she's the one that does most of the inventory. But if it's here in Connecticut, I could see what I have left. And then I'll let Gladiator Guru know, and then we'll let you know how much we have left. So no worries.
Yeah, we do that. My sister's on. Hello, Connie. And thank you, ladies, for staying on with us. This is something, when it's self-care this way and mindfulness and healing, this is something that we should all be paying attention to, not J-Lo and Ben Affleck. Okay, with that?
Oh, my God.
Because sometimes we get so caught up in the outside bullshit, it consumes us, and then there's no time to say, oh, I'm tired now, I can't really work on me.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the stupid people Milagros was referring to. But anyway, so yes.
For people that just don't want to face themselves, mostly.
Yeah, they don't because they're lazy. They don't want to do the work. And taking care of yourself is work. But then you want a man to come take care of you. You want a lady to come and take care of you. Take care of your damn self.
I don't think it's lazy all the time, too. I think it's fear. I think they just don't really want to know what's there. They don't really want to look in and be like, shit, God, I thought it was so much better than that. This is awful. And then you have to do the work. And then the lazy piece comes in.
Let's do it, but we can
do it. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming on. And thanks, my cousin Anna. Feel better. Thank you, honey.
Yes, Anna.
All right. So Thursday's episode is going to be pretty cool. We're going to have a woman on, and it's called Living a Minimalist Lifestyle. And we're going to be talking about how she switched to a minimalist lifestyle. And maybe that would be something you'd be interested in. So definitely check out Thursday's show. And we look forward to seeing all of you back on there. So, oh, that's right. I am out of it. I'm like, what am I supposed to end? I was ready to just say bye. We'll see you Thursday.
Yeah, you were ready to click us all off. Maron.
Oh my goodness. All right, everybody. From the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from the Gladiator Guru, mi gente, come on, do it with me. Breathe in the beauty. And breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.